This video could have been so juicy, you guys. I swear to God. But I'm on best behavior right now. So let's talk about Inglorious Bastards. And let's talk about this 4K. And I'm going to show side-by-sides, but there's a lot of controversy with this 4K. Like, nobody can agree on it. It's the worst thing they've ever seen, it's the same thing, or it's the best thing they've ever seen. So let's talk about influence today in physical media. So I bit the bullet and got the Arrow 4K box set. I only got it because it went on sale for like $30, I think, at the Barnes & Noble sale. But I got mine from Walmart.com because they were price matching. And I wasn't going to, because there's been this whole rumor for a number of years about this 4K being just bad. Just absolutely bad. And as just a normal person, I relied on those reviews. I took them to heart, like probably a lot of people do. So when I found out this was basically the same transfer as the one everybody was trashing on, I was skeptical. I was like, why are they, Arrow didn't even say anything. People were asking, is it a new transfer? Is it a new transfer? They never really said anything. They were just kind of like, Universal gave it to us. Because before I had this, all I had was the Blu-ray. And I've been totally happy with this Blu-ray. There's nothing wrong with this Blu-ray. But I got this after I talked to a few friends and they were like, dude, it looks good. It looks good. I think it's hilarious that Universal puts this out in 2019 or 21. I think they put this out 19 or 21, 2021. And people just hated on it. Like, this is like one of the worst 4K transfers ever, blah, blah, blah. A few years later, Arrow puts the same transfer out, essentially the same transfer. If they did anything, it's just new Kodak or something, but it looks the same to me. Like, I think it's funny that when they put it out, everybody's like, oh my God, it's great. But this, they were like, boo. Like, I saw some YouTubers who said there's a night and day difference between these two, that this is like a 1 out of 5. They rated this a 1 out of 5 and this a 5 out of 5, when I'm like, they're the same thing. I don't know. So usually what I do is I kind of go through my side-by-sides and kind of point things out, but I'm going to do something different. I'm not even going to tell you which one's which. I'm just going to talk about the power of influence and with this movie and let you decide. The only real difference is the Blu-ray. Like, clearly the 4K is different than the Blu-ray. The saturation levels in the Blu-ray are just a little bit more amped up in certain things, and it is a little darker. Like, a little darker. I've heard people say that, especially the basement scene. One of my favorite Brad Pitt lines ever in a movie is like, the problem with fighting in a basement? You're fighting in a basement. I love that scene. I will say, though, this 4K, either 4K, is an improvement on the Blu-ray. And it's a preference thing. You can like either or. But there was one thing I noticed, that it's on both, but I never noticed it before. Have you ever noticed, if you're watching a movie with a lot of subtitles, you're always looking up and down? You're looking at the text and you're looking at the screen and you're going back and forth. Well, I was watching this and I've seen this movie at least 50 times. Like, I love this movie. Top 3 Tarantino for me, I think. The scene in the basement with Michael Fassbender and the Germans. There's one part where the brightness kind of toggles back and forth. Every time a subtitle comes on, it feels like it gets dimmer, like it's an overlay on top. So what's an overlay? An overlay is basically an image. So let's say I instead of just putting the subtitles right here normally, where you can just see it bright, and I cut it on and off. An overlay, say I'd made it on black, and then I put that image over this image, and then I just changed the settings. And so when I go back and forth, the subtitles on and off, you see the change right there. That's what it's like in like one scene in this movie, and it was very noticeable on the Blu-ray. I had to look for it on the 4K. It's there, only because I know it's there, but it's way more subtler to where it's not as distracting. But I was distracted by that on the Blu-ray. When I get to influence, I want to talk about. I'm not going to call anybody out because I'm on good behavior, but there was like a YouTuber, like one of the biggest ones. Like I'll let y'all do y'all's research, but this was like when it first came out. Probably the biggest YouTuber in the physical media community was like, "This transfer is dog shit," and I think that it influenced me a lot. I didn't buy the movie. I was like, I'm happy with the Blu-ray. I'm fine. And then I'm starting to see everybody, a lot of people be like, dude, it's the same transfer. So like, I bought this specifically just to see the difference. Because I saw one video where a guy was talking about how these are night and day, and I really had to see. I had to see for myself because his side-by-side just didn't add up to me, like what he was saying versus what I was seeing. So I went out and bought it, and what's funny is I was watching. So a friend of the channel, John Doe Juggalo, he just made a video about how he hates buying stuff from Amazon that is like he buys it new, but it's resealed. I'm sorry, I'm one of these people. I bought this just for this review, and I'm sending it right back. So I'm sorry to anybody who buys this. I barely watched it. That's not the point. The point is like the power of influence people have and what they say, and I guess I fell victim to it because I wasn't gonna get the Arrow one. It was a lot of controversy. Like, is it a new transfer? Because that's the one thing a 4K is bad when all people care about is it a new transfer, and that's all people were talking about when this Arrow 4K got announced. And speaking of Arrow, let's talk about this real fast. Now, I love their chunky boxes. I'm happy with this release, but I'm going to nitpick the shit out of this. What is this? Now, I know it's artwork and everything, but it literally looks like they just keyed out the background and left this. So what this is, I know what it is. It's on all the artwork, so it's supposed to be there. But when you look at this in person, it looks like, when you get a sticker and you rip it off and it peels some of the ink off? That's what it looks like. And this is no disrespect to the artist, like, really is not. I have some issues with it just from a design point of view. Like, you didn't need this red in the knife you could have made the whole knife black. It literally looks like they took the image, took the little wand, keyed it, and didn't worry about everything else it keyed. That's what it feels like, and this is really distracting. Like, I thought this was ripped, like it was damaged or something. That's just me nitpicking. But I will say, when it comes to studio versus boutique, because this got shit on hard, and this is getting not praised, but like accepted, I should use the word. I would say this is a better overall package, to be completely honest. Now, you get all the bells and whistles. So you get the slip with this, you get the movie, you get posters, you get a coaster. You get all the bells and whistles with this. But you know what Arrow doesn't do, and some boutiques don't do this? The authoring of the disc, there's no chapter menus, which I personally just hate. Like, I feel like this menu is just more, everything's on this one disc. So here, everything's on two discs. So you have the 4K disc, which the only special feature is is a audio commentary, which I think is a new audio commentary. I didn't listen to it for this. And then you got to go to the Blu-ray, which doesn't even have the movie on it. It's just special features. Here, it's all in one. You get better menus, you get, chapters, you get the bonus features with everything on the disc. Now, and I'm one of these people, I'm always like, I'm BDE, guys. I'm all about big disc energy, and it's probably got way better compression on that disc being there, but most people aren't going to notice. Like, if you're watching these side by sides, do you notice a difference? If you do, it's minuscule. You know what I'm talking about? So I am happy I upgraded from the Blu-ray. I don't think you need to. It's just a preference thing. But that being said, this for $30 was not a bad deal. I think especially because it's an upgrade for me, especially if I just had the DVD, major upgrade. I like the transfer. I think the transfer was really good. And when I watched it, I was kind of mad at myself for listening to people. I don't really know them or know their opinions. So I kind of had to see for myself. That's why I bought this other one, which I'm going to return. Because I really wanted to see, is there that much of a difference? Like, was I wrong for not buying this 4 years ago? Honestly, yeah, probably. Like, if I had bought this, I definitely would not have bought this. But, you know, everybody's different in how they view things. You know, people tell me in the comments all the time, bro, you need to update your shit. Your TV's not good enough. Your player's not good enough. You need to watch it on this. We all have different setups. We all have it set to different settings in our setups. But to me, they look the same. Like, how can you play it in the same player? Record it, do everything the same way, and then it's like, they look the same. I don't see a difference. I don't see why this was bad 4 years ago, and this is, like, acceptable now, when they're basically the same thing. So, I don't even know if this 4K is still, this Arrow box set is still available. When I got it, it was like going out of print. Like, not going out of print, it's going out of stock really fast. And I felt a little burned on Demolition Man because I bought it day one. I was so excited. So I spent $48 on Arrow after tax, after everything, and with shipping and everything. And then like a month later or something after, I hate when it does that. Like a month later, before it even came out officially, it was $30 on Amazon. And I was like, damn it. So, like, I paid that price to get it early. So when it came to this, I was like, I'm not gonna, if it goes on sale, I'll get it. And that's what I waited for. Because I think this was like $48 or something after shipping on Arrow. But I like the transfer. I think it's really good. I'm kind of mad at myself. I didn't buy this 4 years ago when it came out. But I was influenced by other people's opinions on it who didn't really show any evidence or proof of what they were saying to let, like, people to decide themselves. Now, I could have looked up other side-by-sides. And I think I did at the time, and at the time, they were so dramatically different. I'm like, wow, that looks really bad. But now side-by-sides are like, they're the same. So, I don't even, like, you don't have to trust my side-by-sides, because my side-by-sides may look different than yours. All I'm saying is make up your own mind on things. Like, I have another video coming out probably this week. Subject change, but same thing happened with Stigmata. Love this movie. Well, I have a whole video coming out soon, but so many people, and I'm not just talking about YouTubers, even though there was one specifically, that just bashed the crap out of this. Said it was like the worst transfer they've ever seen. And then I've had a few other people who kind of said, no, it's bad. So I got it, and I love it. And I'm going to be doing a side-by-side with these. But it was that whole, like, I was influenced by, like, no, it's bad, you shouldn't get it. And I was like, damn, okay. And then I did it, and I was happy with it. So I'm like 2 for 2 for, like, movies that are critically bad that I actually really like to transfer for. So I guess in the future, it's kind of like, I'm just going to make up my own mind. If I like the movie, I like the movie. And if I want to upgrade, I'm going to upgrade. And bite the bullet, because that's all we can do is bite the bullet. You know, like, I've had 4Ks that I've heard were trash that I love. I've had 4Ks that that people have overpraised that I absolutely think are just maybe overrated. I don't want to say bad, but I feel like there's a lot of overratedness in some transfers. This is not a mind-blowing transfer. It's a good transfer. The film looks good. I think so, at least. But what do you guys think? Did you buy the Arrow one? Do you have this one? Do you want it? It's sending it back to Amazon tomorrow. And if you have the Blu-ray, you don't really need to upgrade. if you don't want to. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I really like oversaturation in some things. I like when colors just pop a bit more. Some people like it way more natural. And I will say Inglorious is a little bit more natural. It's a little brighter, a little bit more natural, but I do like the color tones a little bit in both of them.